Hello, and welcome to World Affairs Today. Since Donald Trump became president-elect, he's spoken on the phone with many world leaders. Interestingly, among the first three leaders he called was India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Trump had only good things to say about Modi. The question on everyone's mind was, sure, Trump will talk to leaders from countries like India, the UK, Australia, and France. But will Trump and Putin talk? Initially, it seemed like it would take time. But Vladimir Putin is reportedly very pleased. When the U.S. election results were confirmed, Putin might have taken a celebratory 10 to 15-minute dance in his office. Trump's win is big news for Russia. Putin has, of course, congratulated Trump and expressed hope that U.S. Russia relations will improve. Trump told Putin, however, not to escalate his aggression against Ukraine. Interestingly, Putin seems receptive to Trump's views. Trump's plan for the Ukraine-Russia war, which, by the way, might surprise some of you, has been ongoing for almost 3 years. This war started in 2022, so it's been technically over 2 years and 8 months. By the time Trump takes office as the next U.S. president, almost 3 years will have passed. Trump has promised his voters that the first thing he'll do is end the Ukraine-Russia war, as billions of American taxpayer dollars have been spent on it. So, the question is, how will Trump end the war? Trump's main stance is that he won't deploy any American soldiers. If troops are ultimately deployed, they should be European soldiers because this is a European problem, not a U.S. one. Trump's plan to end the war immediately may make it clear why many people think Putin is thrilled with Trump's election. Trump's belief is that if the war is to end immediately, each country should keep the territories they currently control. In Trump's peace plan, Ukraine would have to accept that Crimea is now Russian territory, something the international community would also recognize. Russia seized Crimea in 2014. Then there's the Donbass region, which Russia has claimed as its own. Trump's plan is that Ukraine and Russia should establish a buffer zone between them, similar to the line of control between India and Pakistan. This buffer zone, about 800 miles long, would act as a border between Ukraine and Russia, with no violence or military conflict allowed. Soldiers on both sides would withdraw from the line, and European countries like Germany, France, and Spain would be told to keep their troops far behind this buffer zone. This would prevent the resumption of war. From Russia's perspective, this plan is a big victory. Crimea would be recognized as Russian, and Russian-controlled areas would remain with Russia, which would never give up these territories. Additionally, the plan suggests that Ukraine should pull back forces from the Kharkiv region, which is partially under Ukrainian control. Reports also indicate that North Korea might soon send 5,000 soldiers to support an attack on Ukraine's positions in Kharkiv, which could push Ukrainian forces to retreat. As for Ukraine's future security and the possibility of joining NATO, under Trump's current plan, Ukraine would not be allowed to join NATO for the next 20 years. In 20 years, the world will have changed significantly. By then, we'll be very close to 2050. At that time, Vladimir Putin will gladly accept this entire plan. NATO is obviously very upset to see all this because Trump's quick solution plan will undermine NATO's efforts and the sacrifices of Ukrainians, rendering years of work nearly pointless. Putin will easily get what he wants. Now, it's obvious that Joe Biden will do everything in his power to try to resolve this war before Trump comes to power, because Trump's plan would lead to heavy losses for Ukraine. Ukrainians will feel that Americans have treated them unfairly. But at the same time, we have to understand that Trump says his priority is not to solve the world's problems, but to focus on his own country. America's debt has increased significantly, and he wants to reduce it by cutting government expenses. They may end many government jobs in the U.S., with Elon Musk overseeing much of this restructuring. Still, Biden will try to convince Trump to stick with the current U.S. plan for Ukraine, though there's little chance of that happening. If Trump sticks to Biden's plan, this war could drag on for several more years. However, it will be interesting to see if Trump can actually enforce his own plan, whether Ukrainians will accept it, and what reactions it might provoke from Russia. It's possible that Russia might feel confident enough to seize even more Ukrainian land before any line of control is drawn. This will be very interesting to see. A war that's about to reach its 3rd anniversary, one that has shaken the world economy. How will India's energy consumption be affected in the long run? Personally, if you ask me, Trump, with the mandate he's received and the massive support from Americans, will confidently try to enforce his own plan. In the coming time, we can expect major news on this topic. How will the Ukraine war finally end? I will continue to bring you updated videos on this subject.